Well, hello everybody. It's Wednesday. That means it's the middle of the week. Hump day, the time to get over the hump of the week. So we're of course going to wait a few minutes, give people a chance to come in before we get started. Let's step away from the. I'm going to step away from the camera for a moment to take care of something real quick. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. And I'm back on New Mikestand, where the cowboys roam in. Go by the code of the West. On New Mikestand. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. Strong to the finish when I eat my finish. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Hong Kong Fooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, quicker than the human eye. Chiggy chong, chiggy wong, wong, wong. Hong Kong Fooey, that's terrific. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplane. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every way that I've been making DuckTales, woo! You've been waiting, I've been waiting, DuckTales. It's a stranger out to find you. Grab onto some DuckTales, woo! You've been waiting, I've been waiting, DuckTales, woo! Anyways, I'll be right back. Let's see. Let's Here I come to save the day. With my mouth is on his way. Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. Little Odyssey. What little Odyssey. Alright, now we're just on the way. We'll have to do one more little trick then here, won't we? Alright, I'll be right back. Gotta go take care of something. Then when I get back, we'll probably get started here. We're coming up on the 8 minute mark. Alright, we're actually just past 9 minutes now, so I think it's a good time to get started on. So tonight, tonight again, between the last week of the year, of course, things are not going. Mainstream Hollywood's still going on, but as you guys know, we don't cover like mainstream. We cover more of the meat. We cover more like anime, cartoons, comics, manga. That's our website. Um, so we're gonna be heading over to CDR again tonight and just looking at. There are a couple of interesting articles on Stan Lee, of course, today being what would have been his 100th birthday. Um, I also cover some random anime articles as well, maybe even a couple, one or two animated articles to get the wrestling wrap up, and then that's what's on tap for tonight. So without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started? Alrighty then. So the first article we're going to look at here will be this one. Fallout Boy, Strowman, and Fortune include epic heavy metal story exclusive preview. CBR has an exclusive preview of the sixth and final chapter of actor comedian Brian Posehn and Fallout Boy guitarist Joe Troman's The Axe series. Article by Brendan Schwer, published 11 hours ago. That looks pretty horrific, doesn't it? Anyways, let's go ahead and look at this. MODOK and the Mandalorian's Brian Posehn and Fallout Boy guitarist Joe Troman are concluding their epic heavy metal magazine series, The Axe. CBR has an exclusive preview of The Axe's sixth and final chapter, which will publish in Heavy Metal Magazine number 320. Before being collected for trade paperback released in 2023. The publisher described The Axe as a, quote, horror comedy adventure. The Axe follows three nerdy skate punk metalhead teens that, upon stealing an old cursed guitar, open a portal to an interdimensional hellscape, Sheol. Thus, the kids fall into a world where they must fend off hideous ancient creatures that would very much like to kill, and eat them, while trying to get back to Earth. Unquote. Yeah, very interesting horror story, huh? Hmm. Quote, we put horror and heavy metal music in a blender with likable kids as our protagonists and came up with the perfect combo for a collaboration with Heavy Metal Magazine, unquote, Posehn said. The Axe's artwork comes from Scott Koblich, who previously worked with Posehn on Marvel's Deadpool, and with both Posehn and Troman on Z2 Comics, Anthrax Among the Living graphic novel. Quote, it's been a breeze working with Scott Koblich, unquote, Posehn said. Um, quote, he was the obvious guy to draw this, and he's killing it. Joe is my pal, and even though there is a big age difference, we share a brain, and it's nothing but fun to throw around ideas and make each other laugh. Our colorist, Diego Pachera, is turning our book into into a thing of beauty. Every page pops, unquote. Troman added, quote, the act merges two of my favorite things, horror and comedy, but it has heart. We intentionally wore woven themes of broken childhood, abandonment, and coming of age throughout the book. And I am proud of the dimensions within this story. But on the fun side, um, what what we were able to do with pushing the gore, the jokes, the darkness, it's just everything. I really wanted to do on a wish fulfillment level. I am really, truly grateful that heavy metal wanted to take a swing on this one. I am thrilled to see it come to life. Um, on the page. Anyways, I'm sorry, I gotta go off camera again. I'll be right back. Uh, All right. Anyway, all right. Anyways, continuing on with the article here. Cats is being adapted for the screen. Um, the act, which was first conceived in an episode of Heavy Metal's Wonder Week or Wonder Work podcast, is currently being developed into a screen adaptation as part of the upcoming slate of film and television titles. That taps into everything I love about the very best mind-bending rock and roll driven cell animation um, that we have. I've seen over the past 40 years. When the Heavy Metal movie was first released, and Heavy Metal Entertainment president and head of studio Tommy Coreal quote, and in true heavy metal fashion, we are currently developing an adaptation of the act that pushes those boundaries further than ever before. Heavy Metal Magazine number 320 also comes with new chapters of Dan Schaffer's Wire Monkey, Joe Harris's Justified, Chris Anderson's Something Seems Off, and SPE Dolores, uh, featuring cover art by Alex Migo and Craig Hildebrand. The issue is on sale now. All right. So, anyways, there we go with that one. We'll head on to the next one here. Maybe we need to step away and do it one more time. Sorry about this. Right back. All right, I'm back. Had to go tend to my dog there, among other things. But anyways, let's get ready to move on to the next article here. And if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream and see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Um, also, also, if anything catches your interest, feel free to comment, and I will do my best to feel free to comment or ask questions. I will do my best to answer your questions. Anyways, and all right. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next article here. Excuse me for one more second here. I need to go do. All right. Well, anyways. All right. So, anyways, moving on to the next article here. Marvel's first ever brand emblem is uncovered on a surprising comic. Collector Matt Bruback uncovers the first comic book publications in the 1940s to showcase the first edition of Marvel Comics brand emblem. Um, article by Brandon Schwer, published 9 hours ago. Marvel Comics' first brand emblem has been discovered on 1946's Willie Comics number 5. 2019, comic collector Matt Bruback and looking into brand emblems from various comic publishers from the 1940s. Brand emblems were made by publishers such as Marvel, DC, and Archie Comics, and more around that time period in an effort to differentiate themselves from one another at the time when the industry was taking off. When researching the matter, Bruback discovered 1946's Willie Comics number 5 was the first book to showcase Marvel Comics' first brand emblem. Anyways, give me just one more second here. Just need to go off camera one more time. Sorry. Hi, I'm back. Anyway, let's continue on with the article here. Let's see. Bruback, who was formerly a professional minor league baseball player, noticed the back of Willie Comics and an image of a young man hitting a baseball at school recess. He said, quote, "To discover the first comic book with a Marvel Comics brand emblem had a baseball-related Baby Ruth advertisement on the back was surreal. Um, I can't tell you how personal this project became, or me, and my focus quickly changed to identify and share these hidden treasures with the world." Unquote. Bruback continued to research brand emblems for the following 3 years and developed a system to catalog comic books. The Universal Comic Guide Catalog (UCGC) brand emblems based on copyright date, publication date, and alphabetical order. Um, During that time, um, he looked documented 14 different company brand emblems and 40 first brand emblem logos for companies such as All American Publications, which was a company that was eventually, became part of. It was kind of at the time you would consider it a reprint, or not a but an imprint of DC at the time. Archie Comics, Atlas Comics, Charlton Comics, DC, Dell Comics, Educational Comics, Fawcett Comics, Gold Key Comics, Harvey Comics, Image Comics, Marvel, Quality Comics, and Valiant Comics. The Certified Guarantee Company, or CGC, dives into brand emblems. He then took the system and his findings to CGC in August 2022. Quote, "I was impressed with Matt Bruback's research locating the Library of Congress dates for each of these issues," unquote. CGC President Matt Nelson said, quote, "It provides deeper insight into the creation and publication of these emblems. This kind of information is invaluable to collectors, giving historical perspective and creating another market driver." After reviewing the UCGC, Nelson agreed brand emblem information should be added to comic labels rated by the CGC. The company decided to utilize the copyright as the main way to do so. And on December 19th, 2022, which was which is basically yeah, basically so last Monday, basically, not the past Monday, but the week before. Um, Over 100 comments in the CGC's database were updated to include this information. Well, Matt Nelson is the leader of the most successful comic grading company in history, and I'm confident he is doing what is in the best interest of CGC and collectors, unquote, Brubeck said. So with that, we'll get ready to move on to the next article. And of course, as always, if you guys have anything to say on anything we talk about here, feel free to comment or ask questions. I'll do my best to answer the questions the best of my ability. Marvel fans honor Stan Lee on his 100th birthday. Now, for those of you who don't know, today is or would have been Stan Lee's 100th birthday, as he passed away like 4 years ago, though he just didn't make it to 100. So, anyways, Marvel and comic fans take to social media to honor 100th birthday of the legendary Stan Lee and the many different characters he created. Now, remember we were talking about the other day, DC did a bit of a tribute as well. So, article by Brendan Schwer, published 8 hours ago. Stan Lee fans took to social media to honor the legendary creator's 100th birthday. Born on December 28, 1922, Stan Lee is one of the most beloved comic creators of all time, who is known for creating Marvel characters such as Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and many, many, many more. While Lee passed away at the age of 95 in 2018, comic fans and creators took to social media to celebrate the legacy he left for his 100th birthday. Let's see, letter Kevin Smith here. End of the 80s. And that looks like a scene from Spider-Man the Animated Series. I think that's supposed to be Silvermane right there. James Gunn. Earlier this month, Marvel shared artwork created by Humberto Ramos that shows Lee surrounded by a number of the characters he made for the House of Ideas. Marvel Entertainment's Twitter reshared the image on December 28th, 2022, so today, for his birthday with Lee's official Twitter account also posted a video of messages fans wrote for Lee's 100th birthday at 2022's Los Angeles Comic Con. Anyways. DC is honoring Stan Lee's 100th birthday with a special release, which we talked about the other day, of course. While Lee is primarily known for his work at Marvel, he worked with DC to publish a series of Just Imagine books in the early 2000s. Just Imagine was a series of one-shots that took characters such as Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Shazam and reinvented them into totally different versions of themselves. In celebration of Lee, DC returned to Just Imagine on December 27th when releasing Tales from Earth 6, a celebration of Stan Lee, which we talked about again on Monday. Coming from a huge creative team that includes Mark Waid, Michael Uslan, Jerry Ordway, Kevin Maguire, Lee Weeks, and many more, the synopsis for the anthology book reads, quote, over 20 years ago, Stan Lee reimagined the entire DC universe. A criminal turned nocturnal warrior for justice, a champion from the Brazilian Amazon, an intergalactic lawman, and more sprang to existence from Stan's mind. With the help of Michael Uslan, to celebrate the legendary comic book icon's 100th birthday, dive into new adventures featuring his version of the DC universe. Batman faces down a villainous new threat, the Choker. Green Lantern digs deep when Necron arrives to consume the World Tree. The Justice League teams up with a familiar face in order to save the day. Shazam ventures into a top-secret facility to face off against a mind-blowing and brain-burgling enemy. The Flash uses her time-bending speed abilities to attempt to reverse the tragedies of her past, but may rob herself of her powers in the process. Chaos ensues when Wonder Woman becomes the editor of the National Exposure, unquote. Okay, so anyways, we get ready to move on to next article here. Hey, where are we at on time? Oh, we're at 43 minutes, so not too bad. Another tribute article. Joe Quesada commemorates Stan Lee's 100th birthday with original art sketch. Former Marvel Chief Creative Officer Joe Quesada honored Stan Lee's 100th birthday by posting an original art sketch on his Twitter account. Article by Glenn Swerve, published in American. Quesada shared an original sketch Stan Lee in honor of the legendary creator's 100th birthday. Quesada posted his original artwork of Lee on his Twitter account. Quote, "We would have been 100 today," unquote, Quesada captain Lee. Quote, "Love you, Stan," unquote. Quesada and Lee were both creators heavily involved with Marvel Comics over the past 100 years. The Lee's career with the publisher beginning when it was still known as Friendly Publications. And in the next couple of weeks here, folks, we will actually be looking at the very first issue that Timely Publications / Marvel Comics published. Ironically, known as Marvel Comics #1. So that comes up 2 weeks from this Friday, just to let you all know. So just a little drop, a little spoiler there. Had to work. And Quesada's, when he became editor of the Marvel Knights imprint in 1998. Stan Lee fans honor his 100th birthday. Born on December 28, 1922, Lee passed away in 2018 at age 95. However, his legacy and influence, not just at Marvel, but for the whole industry, still lives through the countless characters he created, stories he told, and more. Fans took to social media on December 28, 2022, to celebrate Lee's influence, including celebrities such as James Gunn, Kevin Smith, and more. Lee's Twitter account also posted a video shot at 2022 Los Angeles Comic Con of messages written by fans for the creator's 100th birthday. While Marvel Entertainment shared special artwork created by Humberto Ramos. Marvel also announced in a short teaser on December 28, 2022, that it would be putting out a documentary about Lee's life, Stan Lee, an original documentary, in 2023. Quote, 100 years of dreaming, 100 years of creating, 100 years of Stan Lee, unquote, the tagline for the film reads. DC Comics commemorated Lee's 100th birthday by publishing Tales from Earth 6, a celebration of Stan Lee, which returns to the world of Just Imagine. Lee co-created on December 27th. Lee co-created on December 27, 2022. An anthology series brings characters such as Batman, Sandman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman from his Earth 6 incarnation, while also introducing a handful of new faces, such as the twisted version of the Joker named Choker. Speaking to CBR in an exclusive interview, Michael Uslin, who worked on Just Imagine with Lee approximately 20 years ago, said, quote, "When I was a kid, Stan was my idol. I met him for the first time when I was 11 years old. Starting at age 20, he became my mentor. Soon he became my friend, and then became my creative associate. In the end, I was one of the producers of his memorial at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. So I think you can understand how important this is to me. Bringing back these characters that meant so much to him on the occasion of what would have been his 100th birthday. Unquote. Oh, there we go with that one. All right, so let's see what else we can find. Hey, Woody, how you doing, man? Hey, Woody. That's a spoiler. So we're done with all the comic news then. Um, Go over to the anime news here. Check out what's going on there. But even though I don't go beyond the day, actually, excuse me for a moment. I'm gonna go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back. Just want to take care of something real quick here. Be right back. All right. Anyways, I'm back. Let's get ready to continue on here. Normally, I don't go beyond but this one sounds very interesting here. Why are so many shoujo heroines written to be airheads? And of course, they have Serena Tsukino, aka Usagi Tsukino, aka Sailor Moon, right up front and center there. A typical shoujo heroine is cute, compassionate, naive, and a little airheaded. Um, why is this characterization so common? Article by Paige Miloskin published a day ago. Typical shoujo heroine is cute, compassionate, naive, and a little bit of an airhead. She runs to school late with a piece of toast in her mouth. I'm sure a lot of us who've watched Sailor Moon have seen that scene quite a bit. Remember seeing that scene quite a bit. And trips over thin hair, and she always tries to see the best in others, which earns her a good deal of friends, enemies, and love interest. But even though she means well, the typical shoujo heroine typically isn't the brightest, even being a bit naive. But oftentimes, this lack of intellect, self awareness, makes his heroines seem that much more genuine. What makes a typical shoujo protagonist? Usagi from Sailor Moon has bad grades, falls asleep in class, never makes it to school on time. She's silly and clumsy, all hallmarks of the typical shoujo protagonist. But her imperfections don't stop her from becoming the strong and fearless leader of the Sailor Scouts. And what she lacks in brain cells, she makes up for with fierce determination. Sagi is an everyman, or every woman, that acts as relatable heroine to readers and viewers alike. Adding to her likability, likewise, the same logic applies to other shoujo heroines, like Usagi, which may be why the shoujo heroines still share some similarities with her. For a more recent example, there's Katrina from My Life as a Villainess. Her appeal comes from her innate kindness and, to put it plainly, stupidity. Everyone in her life is well aware of this, but that just makes her attempts to develop her personal relationships seem much more genuine. This is why, despite surrounding herself with a rather impressive social circle, none of her friends doubt her intentions. An intelligent person may try to get close to them due to their high ranks among the nobility, but someone like Katerina doesn't have the capability to be cunning because her brain doesn't have the capacity for it. Of course, Katerina does, in fact, have a motive for befriending the people around her, to prevent her demise. In the original game's bad ending, but it doesn't change the fact Katerina is at the very core of her being. A genuinely nice person that always means well. Katerina is always shamelessly silly, which has endeared her to many fans as well, to the point that many have taken to calling her Bakarina, a play on words baka, which means stupid or idiot in Japanese. Her unpredictability also makes her a very entertaining protagonist, and root to follow and root for, especially in a genre like isekai that's otherwise oversaturated with really dull and uninteresting protagonists. I'm going to go off camera one more time here, or I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's continue on with the articles here then. Okay, another example is fruit basket Coro, who is also noted to make bad grades at school. However, she does have a decent amount of basic intelligence when it comes to other matters, like housekeeping. Coro's biggest strength is her capacity to care so much for others, to the point that it can be at times a detriment to her own well-being. Koru also possesses some level of airheadedness due to her naivete, though it certainly isn't at the same level as the likes of Katerina or Usagi. Ultimately, Toru's kindness also proves to be her greatest strength as she breaks through each member of the Soma family with her earnest selflessness. A typical shoujo protagonist like the mold. Oh, they got Haru. They got Haru from Oron High School Host. There are, of course, some exceptions that don't adhere to the role that a typical shoujo heroine must play. Haruhi from Oron High School Host Club is intelligent, curt, and direct. She's far from clumsy, and while she is just as kind as any other shoujo heroine, she certainly isn't naive. In fact, one of the reasons why Oron High School Host Club is such a talked about series to this day is because of how unique Haruhi is and still is as a shoujo heroine. Yeah, now Oron High School Host Club is one of those reverse harems where you have one central female character with a harem of male characters. Um, Shizuku from My Little Monster is an even bigger outlier, as she's intelligent, stoic, competitive, and incredibly snarky. In fact, she acts more like a typical shoujo heroine's love interest instead of the main heroine. She never acts from acutely or traditionally feminine, and she somehow keeps attracting troublemakers instead of a typical Prince Charming type. Um, While she is a good person to be down, she isn't as openly kind as the likes of Toru or even Haruhi, and that is partly due to her intelligence, which has led her to become the type of person that cares more about grades and less about forming lasting bonds of friendship. How did shoujo heroines compare to shonen heroes? There's Deku right there from My Hero Academia. As with shoujo heroines, the typical shonen heroes aren't very bright either, but their sheer determination often gives them more than enough of a boost to make up for the lack of brain cells. Oftentimes, Goku, Deku, Naruto, I guess are examples of this, and even Rocky to a certain extent. Let's see. Oftentimes, these protagonists also possess a talent unique to them that helps them further their goal, counteract whatever handicap they have. Hinata from Haikyuu can jump really high, making him a formidable volleyball player. Haikyuu is a good sports anime. Volleyball based. I highly recommend it if you guys haven't watched it yet. Despite his short height, Tuna from Reborn is aided by an assortment of gadgets courtesy of his mafioso tutor, despite his clumsiness in fight. There has recently been a rise in more intelligent children protagonists as of late, while Deku from My Hero Academia has the hallmarks of most typical shonen protagonists. He's definitely much more intelligent than what's come to be expected of most of them, as his grades often place him in the top of his class. M2 from Dr. Stone is a teen genius with a somewhat eccentric personality that isn't like most shonen protagonists at all. Instead, it's his best friend, a loud, passionate, and hot-blooded kaiju that acts more like a typical shonen protagonist. So we got a scene from Spy Family. We have Lloyd Forger and Anya. Finally, there's Lloyd Forger from Spy Family, who is the antithesis of shonen protagonists. He's an adult in his 20s, well liked by his peers, highly intelligent, and practically perfect in every way. Instead, it's his daughter who displays personality traits that are typically attributed to shonen protagonists. So while this shows that shonen protagonists are in fact evolving, there are still remnants of the typical shonen hero found among people close to the protagonist. Time will tell if shoujo heroines will evolve in the same way that shonen heroes have. But as there aren't a lot of shoujo anime being made recently, anyone interested in more unique shoujo protagonists might have better luck checking out some new manga titles. Oh yeah, if you're looking for newer protagonists, but you can also go back and reread older mangas or rewatch older animes. If you want to get that feeling, if you want to know that experience from before. Let's see. All right, so let's see what else we can find here. Yeah, kind of good. Spoilers and more maybe. Oh, this one sounds like a very interesting article. Five families, five families your Oki the Rock Hitori land on best waifu list. Staff from J-List blog have looked at all of the series aired in 2022 and after careful thought determined their pick for best waifu. Article by Hilary Wong, published 14 hours ago. It's nearing the end of the year, and 2022 has been a big year for anime and its fans, with work like Spy Family and Teen Combat, and price sleeper hits like Loki the Rock and Licorice Recoil. There are a lot of characters in contention for the best waifu. Quote unquote waifu is an internet slang for a fictional character that viewers are romantically attracted to and consider their ideal partner. Yeah, waifu as in, kind of a take on the English word wife. With the idea of, is this girl somebody you want to marry? Um, Ranked by the writers of list blog with a warning that this is a quote unquote very subjective list. Some of the characters come as no surprise. My family's Eurysay Yatsura's Lum, my dress up darling Marine Yagala, and the maid I hired recently is mysterious kid, Lilith, all made the list as expected. Surprising, Oki the Rock, Yutori, Chainsaw Man's Power, Licorice Recoils, um, Chisato Mitsuki were also mentioned as best fighting material. Okay, all the characters are best girls. All of these characters are attractive and beautiful in their own way. Lum and Yor are actual wives, albeit the former is still in the fiancé stage, and the latter is a quote unquote fake wife. Um, Other characters fit in the category of quote scary dangerous waifu unquote like Yor, a blood king power, and the assassin Chisato. Hitori is an extreme introvert with her quote pink hair, a silly moment, and her ability to uh, shred on the guitar, unquote, and her on the list. Realist blog also asks the readers to give their thoughts on who they believe were best waifu. Some of the readers' choices were the same as the others, as Yor, Chicago, Lum, and Marine. The readers also chose a potty mouth and trigger happy Rebecca from the breakout hit title of Edge Runners, a Kebi from the fan service heavy Kebi sailor uniform, and Isekai Ojitan's Tsundere elf, who, as the name implies, is a total Tsundere. Um, Among their choices, readers also chose Gundam the Witch of Mercury, who led a Mercury, a shy but courageous protagonist, and surprisingly picked Kobeni, Kobeni from Chainsaw Man, the terrified devil hunter forced into the profession by a family. Her relatability made her a strong companion. Aside from Best Waifu, the J-List broadcast also picked their favorite anime series of the year. Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, My Dress Darling made the list once more, with one editor praising Spy Family for taking the concept of town families, quote unquote, and quote, dialing in brackets to charm up to 11, unquote. And another writing that My Dress Up Darling was, quote, a love letter to otaku, unquote. Other staff members chose Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer of Edge Runners for, quote, spotlighting memorable characters and delivering a strong execution, unquote. Ghost in the Shell standalone home for 2045 season 2, and Mob Psycho 103 for um, exploring, quote, some deep psychological areas such as anxiety, self-doubt, and depression. All the aforementioned anime series from J-List blogs and editors, that's waifu list, are available to stream on Crunchyroll. There you go. Yeah, hour 15 here. And what more before you take our all right, here's one we look at here. 2D editor pick 10 best anime of 2022. Let's see. Despite being saturated with bland isekai and rom-com genres, 2022 was a solid year for anime fans willing to broaden the search for great content. Article by Joe Ballard, Christy Gibbs, Anna Williams, and Miki Suzuki, published 12 hours. All right, so let's take a look. While not necessarily an amazing year for anime in terms of sheer numbers, the titles frequently failing to make the grade and falling back on tired subgenres, tropes, and cliches, that doesn't mean 2022 has been bereft of top tier production. Despite the industry being especially saturated with bland isekai shows and underwhelming romantic comedies, uh, numerous other stories help to make up for them, making the year a worthwhile one for family fans willing to broaden their search for good content. Even in seasons where highly anticipated sequels and famous names threaten to steal the spotlight, these high quality titles were still able to shine through thanks to their compelling storyline and engaging characters, fantastic production, values, and recognized and impressive creative style. From immediate and favorite to super hits, 2022 proved that anime can be just as diverse, artistic, and innovative as ever. Honorable mention. Excuse me for a moment. I'll go send my dog. I'll be right back. I am back. So let's get back to this article here. Right. An all CGI affair, Blade Runner Black Lotus proves an anime can take on a major Western franchise like this and still produce something that's both original and visually impressive, featuring slick action scenes and a suspenseful overarching narrative. Black Lotus perhaps works best because it demands no prior franchise knowledge. Instead, it's focused on telling its own story, building upon its already existing world without using it as a crutch for its storytelling. Let's begin. Let's see. The much anticipated continuation of the sensational action shonen series Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba set the course for 2022, adapting the fan favorite Entertainment District arc, quote unquote, Ufotable's quality is as consistent as ever, um, permeating through the arc's incredible moments of Sakuga. This new season also introduced the sound Hashira, Tengen Uzui, whose colorful personality contrasted perfectly with Demon Slayer's grim world, especially following the events of Mugen Train. Anna Williams. With gorgeous animation and an original story set in its own universe, Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury is easily accessible for newcomer anime fans, as well as those who have been around since the Gundam franchise's beginnings in 1979. 17-year-old Suletta makes Gundam history as the franchise's first female protagonist, while its LGBTQ plus representation is woven in and developed in a refreshingly casual manner. Joe Ballard. I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss, managed to capture all the charm and humor of the light novel and manga series it adapted. While it follows the typical isekai and otome game inspired tropes, I'm the villainess keeps viewers engaged with its fun storytelling and eclectic cast of characters. Miki Suzuki. All right, so now we get into the top 10 here. Now that we got past the um, now that we got past the honorable mentions. Okay, 10. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 6, Stone Ocean, Parts 2 and 3. While, quote, JoJo Fridays, unquote, are dearly missed by the community, there's no denying just how hype each new installment of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. Split into three parts, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 Stone Ocean took up both the summer and fall anime seasons, including Jolene Cujo and company's story. David Productions continues to impress with consistent quality, perfectly adapting Stone Ocean's final moments. Part 3 in particular has been considered a masterpiece by many diehard JoJo Bizarre Adventure fans, and for good reason. Not only did the anime adaptation flawlessly bring Stone Ocean's beloved cast to life, but it's also clear that despite being separated into three parts, each batch of episodes was handled with genuine love and passion for the story being told. Of course, with the ending being what it is, fans of the series are more excited than ever for a potential Steel Ball Run adaptation in the franchise's future. And I guess Anna Williams was the one who wrote that portion of the article. Yorosei Yatsura. Now, mind you, this is a 2022 remake of the original, like early '80s anime. So, considered a bit of a continuation. Reboots are a polarizing topic, regardless of medium. However, Yorosei Yatsura 2022 is a shining example of how to get a reboot right. And it also set a standard for what a reboot of a classic series should be. Another series produced by David Productions, Yorosei Yatsura, keeps all the camp and charm of the original 1980s anime, while maintaining its independence. The series utilizes a bubbly city pop aesthetic, a talented cast of voice actors taking on iconic roles of Lum and Moroboshi, and a perfectly lighthearted sense of humor. While there's nothing deeply profound in Yorosei Yatsura 2022, being more gag humor than romance, the series is a reminder that sometimes it's okay for anime to just be fun and for fans to relax and enjoy the ride. Which is true. From what I've heard, that was always the case with Yorosei Yatsura. I've wanted to watch the original one, but apparently I can't seem to find the original dub out there. So, I guess I just missed out. And of course, from what I understand, the original 1980s version was done by Studio Pero, and then Studio Dean did the latter part of the series. Anyways, number 8, Call of the Night. Whoa! My guess is this one is possibly a vampire series one. Let's see. Adapted from Kotoyama's original manga of the same name, Call of the Night, produced by Leiden Films and directed by Itamura Tomoyuki, the same mind behind the cult classic Bakemonogatari anime adaptation, swooped into the summer anime season and flipped conventional shonen romance on its head. With gorgeous animation, a Neo-Tokyo color palette, and infectiously fun opening and ending themes by Creepy Nuts. Okay, Creepy Nuts. That's an interesting name to have for a band, isn't it? Creepy Nuts. It's no surprise that Call of the Night quickly became a fan favorite and an otherwise quiet summer season. While the series has received criticism for the protagonist's age compared to his vampiric companion, I thought so. I could tell just by the artwork there, by the scene they were showing, that looked like she was about to take a bite out of him. And with a name like Call of the Night, you get the impression that would be kind of a anime, kind of a vampiric kind of. And other cast members, Call of the Night succeeds. Yeah, well, again, if it's the whole thing about, he's a minor and she's hundreds of years old, it's again, it goes back towards people criticize it. I think they sometimes, though, they kind of intertwine legality and morality. But anyways, Call of the Night succeeds in romanticizing urban nightlife in the best way possible while delivering a powerful, shockingly progressive message about falling in love. All in all, Call of the Night is a great series for anime fans who want to step out of their comfort zone and experience the wild thrills that come with being a routine night owl. And it wins. Kakegurui Twin. Ah. Fan favorite series Kakaguri Compulsive Gambler amassed a huge following when the anime first aired in 2017, followed by a direct sequel 2 years later. Its intentionally over the top storytelling and unrestrained ridiculousness spawned an abundance of memes, particularly when it came to characters' facial expressions. Spin-off series Kakaguri Twins is a worthy follow-up. In this regard, and despite not starring Kakaguri's main character, it manages to maintain its predecessor's addictively entertaining sense of absurdity. Not all not all of Kakaguri Twin reaches the same high levels of stupidity, and the franchise certainly works better the more it throws any idea of subtlety or realism to the wind. However, at its best, the series' ludicrous antics certainly rival that of its sister show, complete with the trademark overly saturated color palette and plethora of meme-worthy facial close-ups. CG, which I'm guessing Christy Gibbs there. Number 6, My Dress-Up Darling. Every year brings a few surprise anime hits that seemingly come out of nowhere to capture hearts worldwide. The winner 2022's My Dress-Up Darling quickly fell into this category. Wakana Gojo enjoys crafting Hina dolls, but isolates himself out of fear of being ridiculed by his classmates, while his co-protagonist, the popular Marine Kitagawa, has a passion for cosplay. Rather than make fun of Gojo's hobby, Marine is impressed with his talent and asks him to help her create a new cosplay outfit. Let's see. Their ensuing adventures and growing romantic feelings are a wonderful story of support, acceptance, and self-acceptance, plus plenty of hijinks, while My Dress-Up Darling understandably has its detractors, thanks to some unnecessary fan service. Both Gojo and Marine and multiple other characters they meet along the way are given important character development, along with the overarching message that it's always okay to be exactly who you are and do what you love. And JB, now I don't remember who JB is, but I guess I'll go back up and see if I can find that name. Let's see. Oh, Joe Ballard. Joe Ballard is JB. All right. Number 5, Chainsaw Man. This will probably be our last article, as I know we're already past the hour and a half mark here, so trying to wrap things up a bit here. Let's see. Long anticipated anime adaptation of Tatsuki Fujimoto's smash hit manga, Chainsaw Man, has not only met its high expectations, it's actually exceeded them in many ways, bringing a wholly unique viewing experience for longtime fans and newcomers alike, while carving out a singular place in pop culture. Yes, Chainsaw Man has delivered the manga's action, the gore, enough twists and turns to make viewers head spin. The compelling storyline about a young man living in poverty who suddenly acquires new powers and becomes a devil hunter, but it's so much more than that. Um, there's stunning animation, end credit scenes, and songs that change with every single episode. Shocking deaths, and viewers being constantly challenged with moral quandaries, all combining to redefine exactly what a shonen anime can be in 2022 and beyond. Joe Ballard. Number 4, Loki the Rock. Something of a sleeper hit, particularly in a season packed with well known sequels and prominent franchises, plenty of hype already behind them. Loki the Rock um, offered something special with a story that on paper may sound rote, but succeeded enormously in terms of execution. Consistently funny, charming, and in parentheses here, perhaps painfully relatable. Bochi's, I guess, um, Bochi's often brutal character comedy is counterbalanced by the series' complete lack of pretentiousness and pure sense of joy, particularly when it comes to the delightful mix of art styles. In addition, the show manages to maintain a certain intriguing realism. While viewers may have little to no experience in self-learning an instrument or playing in a band, many have likely dealt with some form of social anxiety, struggled with confidence issues when taking their hobby to a professional level, or naively hoped to make friends by literally wearing their hobby on their sleeves and desperately waiting for others to approach them. Perhaps even all three. Bochi the Rock might lack the inherent cool factor of shows like Chainsaw Man, but it more than makes up for it in heart. Christy Gibbs. Number 3, Ranking of Kings. Studio Wit's Ranking of Kings, Osama Ranking, um, may have raised a few eyebrows at first with its unconventional character designs, but as it quickly made clear, this was not a story that aimed to pull its punches. Cleverly subverting many classic fantasy and fairy tale tropes via major character reveals and plot developments throughout the series, Ranking of Kings easily cemented itself in viewers' memories thanks to its often surprisingly sophisticated drama and heartfelt story beats. Of course, while the scripting did most of the heavy lifting, creating a cast of complex yet authentic seeming personalities with compelling dynamics, Ranking of Kings, music also played a major role, particularly the anime's first ending theme, Oz by Yama, and second opening theme, Hadaka no Yusha by Vondry, solidified the series' tone, helping to shape an unforgettable narrative and craft an intensely earnest yet wonderfully integrated atmosphere. Chrissy is. I do need to go off camera here one more time, real quick. I'll be right back. All right, anyway, back to the article here. Almost finished here. Number two, Spy Family. There's no denying there's no denying the incredible impact that Tetsuya Endo's Spy Family has had on anime and mainstream pop culture. The combination of action, political tension, and the consistently looming threat of war mixed with specialized adventures, Spy Family expertly manages to be intense, thrilling, and comedic and wholesome, often all in the same episode. For his latest mission, which potentially holds world peace in the balance, the expert spy, known as Twilight, must put together a fake family and infiltrate Eden Academy in order to gain intel on the mysterious warmonger named Donovan Desmond. The resultant forger family, Lloyd, secretly a spy, Yor, secretly an assassin, and their daughter, Anya, secretly a telepath, come together for adventures, hijinks, and a growing amount of genuine love and care for one another. Anya, in particular, has become one of 2022's most beloved anime characters. Yeah, a cute little 6-year-old telepath. That's somebody who I'm sure everybody finds quite adorable. Even being spotted at the 2022 World Cup, Spy Family continues to grow in popularity thanks to its anime, um, which has absolutely lived up to Endo's beloved manga, Joe Ballard. And finally, the top spot, of course, goes to Cyberpunk Edge Runners. While Spy Family may be a more commercially mainstream anime in many regards, there was no matching Cyberpunk Edge Runners this year in terms of quality of creativity. Despite being based on an incredibly high profile Cyberpunk 2077, Edge Runners is very much um, its own production, if anything. The fact that it's a game based series, makes its success all the more impressive given anime's overall poor track record with video game adaptation. I do need to go off camera here one more time. Sorry, folks. All right, Matt, finish off here. Okay, some may have initially had doubts about Edge Runners would pan out because of this, regardless of the big names behind it. Others perhaps feared that non-gamers would not be able to fully appreciate an anime so heavily based on an already existing franchise. However, Studio Trigger's trademark visual flair, combined with a story that allows for expansive world building, a fully realized cast, and both action-packed and emotionally charged moments, resulted in a series both ingeniously savage and wildly entertaining, and one that requires zero experience with the game to enjoy to its fullest. Again, with the All right, so that's all the articles we're going to go over. I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly here. We're already at an hour 49 here. So, um, quick on the wrestling wrap up, of course. Let's see. On the WWE side of things, of course, um, on the WWE side of things, of course, um, on the WWE side of things, let me see. I'm trying to remember here what was talked about today. Let's see. There has been talk that they were trying to get Tyson Fury over from England for I don't know if it's WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, but apparently he and his brother have been banned due to their affiliation with, or due to their association with, an Irish mob boss. Um, and then apparently Sasha Banks is also advertised for Royal Rumble, but it was believed to be a mistake. It's a misprint on a program. That's kind of all on the WE side, and of course I'll talk more about this tomorrow in tomorrow's wrestling wrap up. But AEW tonight, of course, had on their Dynamite, they had their New Year's Smash event going on with, of course, match 6 of the best of 7 between Death Triangle and the Elite. You had Samoa Joe defending the TNT title against Wardlow. You had in another tag team matchup Will Nightingale and Ruby Soho taking on the girls from Jericho Appreciation Society, Anna JAS and Ty Mello. Also had Brian Danielson taking on Ethan Page. So with that, why don't we go ahead and start wrapping things up by getting into this day in Neat history. Today being Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in Neat history. 3. All right. So first off, we're going to head back to 1972. And on this date in 1972, the 80th issue of Daffy Duck from Gold Key Comics went on sale on this date back 50 years ago today. Now, the series originally started off with Dell Comics before Gold Key took over a lot of their titles. So this was originally started out with the first 30 issues from Dell Comics, and starting with issue 31 through the rest of its run was published by Gold Key. So Gold Key took over. And on this date in 1972, 50 years ago today, the 80th issue of Daffy Duck went on sale on this day. You see on the cover there, of course, Daffy Duck and the Roadrunner. They're probably both in the book. Obviously, Daffy would be in the book uh, because it's named after it. Anyways, moving on to the next piece of the history, we move ahead to 1992. And on this date in 1992, from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, WCW held its Starrcade event. And this was, of course, the year of the, however you want to call it, famous or infamous King of Cable match, cable tournament, in which Sting defeated Big Dan Vader in the tournament final. Also in the main event, Great Muta win the Battle Royal, to win the Battle Bowl ring. Masachona successfully defended the NWA World Title against Great Muta. Ron Simmons retained the WCW World Heavyweight Title over Steve Williams and by disqualification. Let's see. Shane Douglas and Ricky Steamboat retained the NWA World Tag Team Championship over Brian Pillman and Barry Windham. And I think a lot of these other tag matches were used to set up for the Battle Bowl. So, anyways, on this date 30 years ago today, WCW held its Starrcade event. So that we got one more piece of each history to go over. And on this date 10 years ago today, 10 years ago today, from A1 Pictures' Blue Exorcist, the movie, was released in Japanese theaters on this date 10 years ago today. So, Blue Exorcist, the movie, from A1 Pictures, was was premiered in Japanese theaters on this date 10 years ago today. So there we go with that one. Thank everybody for being here. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night for Morning News. And don't forget, of course, Friday, I'll have Rick Piper in with me from Cross Comics as we finish off our coverage of July of 1939. And with that, guys, I thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Bye.